Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Wakabadash. Shalom to the elders for preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely as well too. And I say shalom to the Akim out there, and this is a sit-down lesson that I want to bring out. And this is a news article from RT.com as of August the 1st, 2023. AlternativeWorldNews.com. Alternative World News from RT.com. I meant to say Slovakia. And it says Sweden ramps up security at the Quran burning, citing a heightened terrorist threat. Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson has announced new police powers. It says Sweden borders will be tightening and police given new stop and search powers. And I believe keep this in mind as well too. I believe he's a consultant from, I believe he's a Turkey consultant. I believe he had got shot and critical injured over there in Sweden. So you gotta keep, I don't know if that was a part of it or that was just a separate incident. But, especially during the heightened tensions with for the past couple of months or so in the current year of 2023, we definitely been seeing, people been doing protests of burning the Quran and stuff like that. And that has the Muslims up in arms about that, they was protesting about that. And then you have protests that have been taking place in these assemblies in these Iraq, and I think different other parts around the world as well too. You've been having Muslims uproar due to the fact they was burning the Quran and stuff like that. So this, this potentially can start an uproar, between both sides, But, I just want to add an additional note to that. We'll continue on with the reading. It says Sweden borders will be tightened and police giving new stop and search powers. Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson announced on Tuesday. Kristersson warned that a spate of Quran burnings in the country has triggered the most serious security since Second World War, meant to say. It says the new measure will be temporary, Kristersson said, adding that his government is also considering a legislation that would allow police to step up that would allow police to stop people burning the Muslim holy book if such stunts would threaten Sweden's national security. My apology about that kind of slip of the tongue of words. My apology. But continue on. It says that as Iraqi Christian immigrants burned a copy of the Quran outside the Swedish Parliament building on Monday, the third such incident in a month. Sudan's freedom of speech law permits the burning of the holy text, but the protests have sparked fears of an Islamic backlash. It says we are currently in the most serious security situation since the Second World War, Kristersson said in a statement Sunday, adding that the states and state-like actors are actively exploiting the situation. Swedish authorities have been issuing similar warnings for several months, with the country's counterterrorism agency stating in February that it has seen an increase in the number of terrorist threats after the Danish right-wing activists burned in Quran outside the Turkish embassy in Stockholm in January. In a free country like Sweden, you have a great deal of freedom, but with that great degree of freedom comes a great degree of responsibility. Christensen told the reporters on Tuesday, everything that is legal is not necessarily appropriate. It can be awful, but still lawful. We try to promote a respectful tone between countries and people. In Denmark, where similar free speech law permit in dissection of holy books, Foreign Minister Lars Løkke Rasmussen said on Sunday that the government is searching for a legal tool to carve out an exception for the Quran. The burning have been vehemently condemned by the 57-nation Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC, which individual Muslim majority has summoned their Swedish ambassadors to complain. Protests have been broken out as Sweden ambassadors in Muslim countries, while Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei, if I pronounce his name right, warned Stockholm that those who have insulted the Holy Quran deserves the severest punishment. And it says the rash of incidents have also underlines Sweden bid to join NATO, although Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan declared his support for Sweden's assessment during a summit of NATO's leaders in Lithuania earlier this month. He has previously declared that he will not sign off on the assessment as long as Sweden allows my holy people, the Quran, to be burnt and torn. This is the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse Salakia. This is the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 25. It reads, "And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon, and upon the earth the distress of nations with perplexity, and the seas where is wrong." This is Second Ezra, chapter 9, verse 3. "Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars in the people of the world," it's the book of Second Ezra. This is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 15. "For that war and destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands." And this is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 16. "For there shall be sedition among men, invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor their princes, in the course of their actions to stand in their power." So with that, hopefully this sit-down lesson was edifying. But this recent news article from RT.com as of August the 1st, 2023. And it says again, Sweden ramps up security after Quran burnings. Right, so this potentially can, this can start a stir. This can start potentially tensions around the world, and it can potentially stir up more protests. And that's in the categories of uprisings and uproars from people of the world and seditions between one another. So this most likely can start some tensions and escalations and seditions and uprisings and more protests, potentially. That's why I said potentially. As it says again, Sweden ramps up security after Quran burning. So with that, hopefully this lesson was edifying. I would like to give all praises and glory. I would like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Akarkadash. Shalom to the elders for preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through four corners of the globe, which the word truthfully and sincerity is way too. And until next time, I will say shalom.